Okay, so today we're going to be going through my recent win in the World Series Poker Circuit Series. It was the $125 circuit special on GG. We're just going to look at the final table. Okay, we'll just go through hand by hand and see what I was doing and what I think we should be doing. So this is the last hand just before the final table, which is 3-bet, like directly on the final table bubble. It's a good time to put a lot of pressure on people. I mean, this is a standard 3-bet jam anyway, but we're going to be able to go a little bit wider than usual here, just to apply pressure to people who it's like there's a psychological thing where they just want to get to the final table. Yeah, so that's one more hand as well, and then now we're at the final table. So we come in as chip leader. Let's just have a little look at our table seat here. I think we have an incredibly good seat. Like the guy who's second is here. Third is two to our right. There's a good amount of what's they got, 32, like 25 to 40 blind stacks. So no super short stacks. This guy's the shortest, is he? Yeah, this guy's the shortest with like 20 or so. So no super short stacks, but we will be able to apply a lot of pressure. My general game plan is to apply a lot of pressure anyway. When we're at a final table, we're going to apply even more pressure because of the ICM considerations. Then exploitatively, going to apply even more because I think people play a little bit even more scared than they're supposed to. And then as chip leader, going to apply even more pressure. So yeah, look for us to be playing incredibly aggressive. Let's see, so folds. Small blind, it's going to limp in, and many reasons why we're going to be ISOing here. As a standard play, we want to be ISOing very hard because he's second in chips. We want to kind of set our stall out as you can't limp in on our big blind. We really want to get as many walks as possible. We want to establish an aggressive image so that the hands that he has where there's a choice between raising and limping, he chooses to limp, which allows us to see a flop with our very weak hands. We can just check back, and allows us with our kind of middling hands to take control of the pot by raising. So yeah, so loads of different reasons. You can go all sorts of different sizes. I quite like going 4 here right off the bat, just to sort of show that we're not going to be letting him see flops. So he might as well just not bother limping in the first place. Plus our hand, it's okay, but it doesn't have a tremendous amount of value, and we're just super okay with just taking the pot down right here. So yeah, so we raise to 4x. He calls, and yeah, like all sorts of different things are okay here. I do want to stick in the c-bet because I think in general anyway, people are going to overfold to c-bets. Flat tables are going to fold to c-bets even more. And because he's second in chips, he's going to fold to c-bets even more. We do pick up some equity on some turns, but if we had like a hand like Jack 10, wouldn't mind going smaller, knowing that I'm going to be barreling pretty much every turn. But with a hand like this, I don't mind just taking it down now. We have range advantage as well, and this, theoretically, this kind of, we could be doing this with aces or 9s or something like this. It just puts him in a horrible spot. If we were wanting to get all in over 3 streets, like without him raising us, we would have to start with a big bet as well. So, it's kind of believable. Again, it just sets out our stall, like you're not going to be able to see flops, see turns, see rivers, see showdowns very cheap at all. So you might as well not get involved with us. Yeah, so lots of different reasons. Plus, I like the slight overbet c-bet in general, like not just ICM situations, but the population generally just doesn't play particularly well against it. You know, they obviously find it incredibly hard to raise it without a very strong hand or a strong draw, which means we always get to see a turn at least. And then they just seem to overfold to it. Like, I mean, hands that they're supposed to be calling like second pairs in a lot of spots, you know, they almost just don't want the hassle of it, so they just fold it. So yeah, for all those reasons, I like this size. He laughs and folds, yeah. Okay, so next hand, I'll just go through the hands that we play. Okay, yeah, this is the next one we play. So yeah, somebody's gone out here and Storm has now caught us up a bit, but we're still chip leader. We do want to maintain the chip lead, and it is a little bit uncomfortable with somebody getting close to us. So we do kind of, I mean, we always want to be chipping up anyway, but particularly with him catching us up to us a bit here, makes us want to chip up even more. We haven't played those last few hands, so, you know, I mean, that's relatively good for our image, I suppose. I think we'd just be opening up this spot very wide anyway. Like, not 7 deuce, but, you know, Jack 8 makes some reasonable pairs. We're not going to get 3-bet as much as they should 3-bet us. They're just going to fold a bit too much post flop, you know, etc., etc. So we open all sorts of different sizes possible. Like I wouldn't mind going 2.5x actually, just to discourage him from calling. He does fold anyway though. And then the next hand we'll just carry on exactly the same. Also good to kind of get some momentum. Now we do go for 2.5x as well. Get some momentum, particularly straight under the gun. Does look fairly strong, and the guys who are most likely to call, these two here, are the guys that we can put under the most ICM pressure. Unfortunately, we get a call and a 3-bet, so we're just going to be letting it go. And then very good time to pick up kings, having just failed to get one through. There's a raise. Bricks is going to 3-bet, and I think our only real option is to just jam. Like, calling almost looks stronger than jamming, really. So yeah, so I think we just jam. Bricks calls it off queens, good spot. For us. Next hand queen 2, so now we've pulled away a little bit from Storm, which is really, really nice. Folds to us. This guy, he's got one guy fairly close to him and then these 2 guys shorter than him, so we can apply a lot of pressure to him. Because of his stack size, yeah, I mean, all sorts of different open sizes are fine. I'm not going to be jamming too much against this stack size. Yeah, we could go 2.5x. I quite like 3x, and if he's a bit shorter, 2.5x. It's a bit deeper, 3.5x. I think we went for 3 there. And he just snap folded. And then next hand. Yep, same type of thing. They've got these 2 guys behind them, so we're definitely going to be opening pretty much everything. Just applying an awful lot of pressure to them, forcing them to kind of play back at us, which people won't do enough. And yeah, just trying to chip up, chip up, chip up. Like, I don't think I've said yet, but you know, the big blind here is 16,000. I think starting chips for this tournament's like 10,000. So every big blind is worth more than the buy-in at this stage. You know, it's not exactly like that because every chip, because of ICM, like chips don't equal money, but we're still playing essentially really high stakes here. All the money's at the final table, and so every time we make little plus EV plays, they're making us an awful lot of money, and that's why it's so beneficial to be the chip leader at these final tables, and why I would risk quite a bit earlier in the tournament so as to get into this position more consistently. Because I mean, A, it's just a better place to be, and then B, exploitatively, it's just really hard to play against the aggression, and I think people do a poor job of it. So yeah, so we open, they fold. You can see a lot of foldings going on, and they're supposed to fold a lot, but they also fold a little bit more than that as well. Okay, next hand. Don't play any of these. King, queen, so standard open under the gun. And just get folds. And then ace 3. Open from Storm, who's just a little bit behind us. Definitely want to be playing this hand. We could just defend. I quite like taking control of the hand where we can apply a lot of pressure to him post-flop. Theoretically, he could apply a lot of pressure back on us with a lot of 4-bets, a lot of raising and floating post-flop. In practice, people don't do that very much. And I think a lot of the time we're just either going to 3-bet and win it right there, win it on the flop, or win it on the turn. So all those situations we're going to make a sort of small, we're going to win a small to medium sized pot, which is perfect because that would just give us a little bit of breathing room, right? We'll be a little bit ahead of him. Whereas if we just call, we're not going to have as many beneficial, not as many good ways to win the pot. Another good reason to 3-bet, we've got the ace blocker, but I'd say that's a minor consideration. I think we go quite a big size, if I remember. Yeah, we go quite a big size, just really deter calls. Just make people, give them the option, the easy option to just go away with hands like King Jack or whatever, you know? He just doesn't want to play a big pot with us. So let's just say, okay, you don't have to play a big pot with us, we'll just take this one. He does continue, which I'm going to assume is, it can be some of the best hands, aces and kings. Most likely hands, it's like the really good broadways, the kind of mid pairs, maybe a few middling ace-x suited, or the better ones, I suppose. So yeah, I kind of want to make it look like there's a chance we're going to be playing an absolutely enormous pot here. I don't want to kind of let him off with a small c-bet that he can just easily float. Yeah, I want to apply a good amount of pressure. So we go half pot, which is going to make it 800. So it'll be stack to pot ratio of 2 on the turn, which is perfect for just betting the turn and jamming the river. So right here, we haven't risked very much, and we're kind of risking. He'll have to risk his stack a little bit. Is how it might look to him. So it's just, if he has a hand like King Queen with a backdoor flush draw, it's kind of close, and he might just take the easy option and just fold. I think people just do that a little bit too often, and he does. So yes, we're in a nice little spot now. Next hand is King 5. So he has opened here. He's going to be opening pretty wide. He's a big stack 2, and for the same reason that we're opening wide, he can be opening wide into us. We kind of want to deter him from doing that, because every time he folds, we get that opening opportunity. We have pulled a decent amount ahead of him now, which means we can apply substantially more pressure to him than he can to us. Like, he still can apply pressure to us, but even if we get all in with him, we're still just level with the short stack. So yeah, and then people just aren't keen to play back in that type of way, you know, like first versus second stack. They're not keen to get involved in that way. So yeah, so I quite like a 3-bet here. We've got a blocker again, and you know, we've been winning all the pots, so we kind of want to keep that momentum going. Really stop people from playing pots. Just get them to keep giving us these small pots, and we can just keep chipping up. And then by the time we're heads up, we'll just have a decent lead. So, you know, make it a bit over 3x, just slightly again to deter those calls. Like, again, it's like the hand like King Jack. You know, maybe it calls for 100, if we make it 110 or 120, but folds to this because it's just a bit uncomfortable. Kind of like, maybe I have to 4-bet or fold. I don't really want to 4-bet. Calling's a bit, yeah. So I'll just give him this one. You know, we want people to do that. And he does. And the next hand is kings, which is always nice. So we open that. And folds. Eight, 7, so we've got an open. This guy's, you know, we can't apply too much ICM pressure to him because he's the shortest stack. Yeah, we haven't seen him play a pot yet. I think our hand's just plenty good enough to call. I don't really want to play a big pot with somebody where I can't apply too much ICM pressure to them, and it could kind of bring us back level with Storm again. So I like just calling, just play the hand like normal, basically. And then, yeah, same on the flop, just going to play it normal. So hand's just good enough to call. And yeah, with our 2 pair outs and our gut shot, just about good enough to call again on the turn. He can have some draws that won't necessarily bluff the river. And then we just have all our outs as well. So totally fine, not risking much to get to the river. Considering turning it into a bluff there, but you know, I don't mind just winning this sometimes, and then the times we don't, we're still reasonable sized chip leader. Okay. And then next time 5-4. So Storm is opening. Same as before. I kind of just want to deter him from opening. This is a good hand for 3-betting. And, you know, we're nearly 100 blinds deep with him. 5-4 suit is going to be quite good at 100 blinds deep because by the time we get to the river, you know, the type of hands that it hits, like straights, 2-pair, trips and flushes, you know, that's kind of the hand type that we want by the time we get all in on the river. So we can bluff quite well with it on the early streets when they mainly fold. And then, you know, sometimes we're going to win an enormous pot with it. So, yeah, could go bigger. All different sizes are fine there. Next hand, 10-8. So this guy hasn't been opening too much at all, really. We can put a lot of pressure on him because he is the, you know, third in chips. But that kind of means that he probably won't be opening that wide as well. But yeah, we do kind of want to attack people a little bit. Maybe this is a smidge wide, and it's something we don't have to do. But I like to err on the side of aggression for the most part. So 3-bet in. And then when we actually hit something, you know, this is not a hand we're going to be wanting to get all in. And I think if we check back, we kind of reveal our hand strength to some extent. So we want to keep our range nice and wide and uncapped. And I don't mind making small bets when we could theoretically be doing it with the stronger part of our range as well, like aces and stuff like that. There's no reason why it wouldn't bet this size. It can still get all in by the river. And because of the ICM pressure on him, he's not going to be going crazy with check raises and stuff like that. So yeah, I quite like the small bet. Gets a little bit of value, a bit of protection.